Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And we are here with our inner guidance communication coach, Monica Levin, joining us here live today. How are you?
I'm fantastic this beautiful morning here in Michigan, Eastern Standard Time. Where are you?
We are in New York, so same thing, Eastern Standard Time. So we still say good morning. It is 11 a.m. So introduce yourself to our listeners today, please. We're excited to get to know you, Monica.
Well, thank you. As you said, my name is Monica Levin, and I have been an inner guidance communication coach for at least 20 years. And people say, what does that mean? You know, what is that? Well, each of us are eternal beings. And I like to think of ourselves as having two minds. We're of two minds. We have the human mind, which is like the driver of the car.
Yep.
And my human mind is full of conditioning, what society has taught me or my family has taught me, and whatever beliefs I've picked up along the way. And then we also have our divine minds, the part of us that's connected to all that is. I've been guided to call it infinite becoming because God is infinite, omnipresent, eternal. And so that is our connection to that part of us because we are infinite and we are eternal. So we have our human mind and we have our divine mind. And our human mind is like the driver of the car. Yeah. And our divine mind is like the GPS, or I like to call it the PGS, personal guidance system. So we get intuitive messages all the time. And we say, should I follow it? Is that me? Is it really my guidance? Because our egos, the human mind, doubts it. But when we receive these messages, it's good to listen and then drive the car as our personal guidance system is directing us. And that's what I teach people to do, how to tune in, connect to their divine minds so that they can cross-check the intuitive feelings that they receive. I'm guessing that you're also an intuitive person.
Look at you. Well, maybe I want to, uncover my uniqueness and discover my inner truth as well. MonicaLevin.com. Got to point out the website, MonicaLevin. And I think I am a bit intuitive. I am. For you to say that, a lot of people say that, and I feel it, and I know it, and I believe in the divine. I believe in we could do anything, and it's all about mindset, and the possibilities are endless. And I know you help your clients work to that aspect. What do you want in life? What you could have it, right? There's a way that you can explain that concept, right? Nothing's off the table, Monica. We can live the best life that we can. Can you explain that?
That's right. Just like our human mind says, I'm going to read all these books about personal development. I'm going to read all these books about business coaching. I'm going to read all these books about health and nutrition, but we don't know which road to follow because there's so many opinions, so many roads that can be taken. And that's why it's important to tune into your divine mind. Because if you have 10 different things or options, how do you know which direction to go in? How do you know which person to contact? How do you know which eating program is best for you? How do you determine which supplements you need? How do you determine even which practitioner to go to? Like say you're looking for a doctor, you have 5 or 6 doctors that people have recommended to you. How do you know which one to go to? You ask your divine mind, you ask your intuition, that part of you that has access to all knowledge. And that way it's easier to step forward so that you can start to attract, no, that's not the right word, time to accept or allow into your life everything that you have desired.
Beautiful. And before we continue the conversation, would you mind just sharing a little bit about yourself, Monica? What brought you into this business and field? And tell us a little about where you grew up. It's important to get to know you as a person as well.
Yes, I grew up in Canada, in Montreal. Then I spent a number of years in Ontario before I moved here to Michigan. And I got into this I would say by accident, but there are no accidents, as we know.
True.
But as a child, I was very ill. I had intestinal problems. I had headaches, cold sores, canker sores. My knees and ankles would hurt at night. I was exhausted all the time. And this was the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and doctors didn't know what was going on. Now, the medical field has a little bit more knowledge about foods and et cetera. But I had gone to a woman that really, I would say, saved my life. And she tested me for food intolerances. And after 3 days without the food she told me to avoid, my intestinal problems went away. And
Which
after a
was what,
month,
by the way? Could I ask you what?
yes, the most common food intolerances are number one, milk and milk products.
Okay.
Number two, wheat and wheat products. And I'm not talking gluten because there's this gluten-free phase now, fad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then for me, it was corn. Usually 60% of the population is intolerant to corn. I'm okay with soy, but 40% of the population is intolerant to soy. And so when you are avoiding the foods that you in particular are intolerant to, your body can heal itself, because our bodies are designed to heal themselves if they're not distracted. And what can distract our body from healing itself? The foods we eat that we're not supposed to, even thoughts we're thinking. As you know, you were talking about mindset. That's very important. If we're always in a negative state of mind, or uncomfortable state of mind, because I don't know if I want to call it positive or negative, if we're in a state of mind that brings us distress, that will affect the physical body. And so I had changed my diet, and then I started to test people for food intolerances. I'm also a holistic nutritionist, and my specialty is food intolerance testing.
Wow.
And after testing people for a few years, I started to notice that when, like, if you'd ask me a question, I'd just know the answer. And I said, what is this? Is this inner guidance? And so I started to look into that and then develop a method for other people to get their own answers.
Wow. Because let me just bring this up, random question. I have severe bloating. I've been told I had IBS my whole life. And I'm not allergic to any foods though. But the one thing that came back in my genetic testing was something called hereditary fructose intolerance. Are you aware of
Wow.
that? So
No, but interesting. Tell me more.
well, supposedly it means that my body doesn't make the enzymes to break down fructose, and fructose isn't everything. I wonder why I don't like orange juice or fruits, or because it just hurts my belly, right? But
Wow.
everything really has a sugar in it. And I do love wine. Not that I have a 5 and 7-year-old, don't get to drink much, but everything has sugar in it. So I think that's what my problem is, but I need to do further study. So I was just curious if you ever heard of that one.
Maybe you better call me for an appointment.
Maybe, right?
Because I mean, there's a difference between fructose and glucose, and then natural.
Yeah, I don't know.
things.
I don't know, but okay, just figured
Yeah.
I'd ask, Monica. Thank
Yes,
you.
yes, absolutely. And so once you're in touch with your inner guidance, you can look at the foods and ask your guidance, do you tell me to avoid eating oranges in your case? Yes. Do you tell me to avoid eating corn? No, you're okay with corn. Do you tell me to avoid eating apples? Yes. And can be a difference between cooked and raw. In your case, there's not. And so you can, when you have a piece of information, you can delve deeper into it to get more information from your inner guidance.
Got it. Well, thank you for sharing that. And again, Monica Levin, if you're just tuning in, that's the website, MONICALEVIN. We got to point that out to you. So let's talk about the different aspects of your work and how you can help our listeners. I know you do private sessions through Zoom, correct? And at your Michigan office as well, online. Could you talk a little bit about the process, and what about some of the intuition training you do? There's a lot to you. I just want to make sure we're covering everything.
I would say that intuition training is the basis of everything. So once you're connected to your divine mind, you can receive your own answers. And if you have a session with me, I help you to find your own answers. The whole session is led by your divine mind. Once I help you connect, the question is, what is Monica here to help me with today? And maybe I'm here to help you with your physical health. Maybe I'm here to help you with your relationships. Maybe I'm here to help you change your mindset or release trapped emotions, or maybe help you to find a direction for your business. All of those things. And so that's what a personal session is like, in-person session. If you need more freedom and you want to just be able to log on anytime you want, I do have courses. One is a health course, and that if you sign up for it, there are videos of me leading you through the process. And then there's one for if you want to change careers or get a promotion. There's another one for, oh goodness, what's my other one for? Just general intuition training.
Perfect. But we all have it, right? We all have this ability.
Everybody has the ability. And if you want even more freedom, I have a book that's available on Amazon called The Body Soul Bridge, which teaches the skills that I teach in my practice and have been teaching for 20 years.
Wow, this is amazing. So intuition basics, the training you do, manifesting, right? So
Yes.
is it kind of like what you put out there comes back like karma in a sense? You can train us to manifest. Is that what I'm getting?
Yes, that's a very good interpretation. It goes a little bit deeper than that
Hmm.
because when we want to manifest something, sometimes part of us is blocking it. So let's say I want perfect health. I want to have more energy. I have lots of energy, and we use affirmations. You've probably used affirmations when you say an affirmation over and over until your subconscious mind believes it. But if we have that part of us that blocks it or doesn't believe it or doesn't want to allow it, then what we need to do is remove those blocks. And that's part of that course. So that when you have your list of things that you desire, that you want to attract to you, that you want to allow into your reality, that we can remove the blocks that are stopping them from arriving.
Got it. Wow. Impressive work you do. Now we're talking even, people that have you worked with people who have some physical ailments as well that they're able to, I won't say the word cure, but to fix, to better themselves? What types of things can you help people with physically?
Absolutely. It started out, as I said before, that I'm also a
Okay.
holistic nutritionist.
Yes.
And no, it doesn't matter what disease you have, what symptoms you have, it's a sign of imbalance, dis-ease. And so we want to put you back into ease. So we
Got it.
remove the dis-ease and put you back into ease. And your journey is particular to you. So we ask your divine mind what is necessary in order to do that. It could be avoiding certain foods, could be eating more foods of a particular kind. It could be specific kinds of exercise. It could be relaxation methods.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, as soon as we pull together all of the different aspects, your body returns to ease and your physical symptoms will diminish because
Wow.
the body has the ability to heal itself when we don't get in the way. And the question is, how am I getting in the way of my perfect health?
Yeah.
And your divine mind will guide you.
And you also offer free inner guidance communication meditation. And I saw some downloads on your website as well. Could you discuss that?
Yes, on my website where you
The
go to the
affirmation.
online classes, yes,
Uh-huh.
I have affirmations you can download. I created them on different backgrounds so you can have them printed on your printer or have a
Mm-hmm.
photograph done and post it up, and they're affirmations to say to yourself in the mirror about self-love and health and everything. And on the page for my online on-demand courses, there's one called Inner Guidance Communication Meditation. That one is free. Anyone can sign up for that. And it's me leading you through the process to connect to your inner guidance. And then at the end, the question is, should I schedule an appointment with Monica at this time? If your guidance says yes, call me or schedule it online. And if it says no, then you just wait and do your own process.
Wow. And so are you also an author? You have your own books as well?
Yes, so I have my book, The
Tell
Body
us.
Soul
That's
Bridge,
the
which
one.
teaches the courses, excuse me, which teaches the processes that I've been teaching for 20 years.
Oh,
I
wow.
also have journals that go with it. For example, a
Okay.
gratitude journal, a supplement journal, a journal for writing down the foods that you need or don't need. And then as we're trying to receive our messages, sometimes it's hard to intuit them. And so I created 4 different oracle card guidebooks.
Yeah.
Have you
What
ever,
are those?
have you ever used tarot cards
I've had
or,
a tarot reading. Yes.
yes, some people use angel cards, medicine cards. They're all tools to help you receive messages from your divine mind. And so these were created. They're also available on Amazon so that you can use them and with any regular card deck, right? So you pull
Ooh.
a card for the book. Let's do one for you.
Sure.
What
Okay.
do you
Cool.
think?
Cool.
Okay,
Cool. Please.
so which book does your guidance tell you to choose from? We
Purple.
have
Purple.
purple,
Purple.
purple. So this one is mine called Balance.
Okay.
And then I could pull a card for you, but actually, why don't you just tell me what suit? So hearts, what are the suits? Hearts, diamonds, spades, clubs. Which
Diamond.
suit? Diamonds. And ace through king, which one?
What was the question?
Ace through king.
Oh
1, 2, 3,
gosh.
4, 5, 6, 7,
6, 7,
8,
7.
7.
Yeah.
All right.
7, 7.
So the 7 of Diamonds in this book is about freedom. On one side is the meaning of the card. On the other side is a place for you to do your own journaling.
Okay.
So here you go. Here's the message. And for everyone here that's listening, because if we're here together, everyone is meant to hear this message. And the message is freedom. Feel free to enjoy your life and know that you are loved, encouraged, and protected. You are love. No thing can harm you. Feel the golden ball of light in your heart, and with each breath, this golden ball of light gets brighter and larger.
Ooh.
Allow the love that you are to expand and envelop your body. Allow the golden light to expand and fill the room that you're in, and then the building and the property, and envelop your city, your region and country and the planet, and off into infinity. And as, of course, perfect timing would have it, yesterday I recorded a meditation that uses this process, and it's on YouTube. So if you go to Intuition with Monica on YouTube, look me up, Monica Levin, you can actually listen to meditation that I just recorded yesterday that leads you through the process of this exact meditation.
Wow. Wow.
So,
thank you so much.
Yeah, that's your message. And for everyone listening,
Wow.
know that you are love and no thing can harm you.
Beautiful. And I love on your website, you got a picture of you like in your superwoman outfit, claim your superpower.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, I am also a certified body language trainer. And so I do presentations for CEOs or at companies on body language.
Oh
and
gosh, I
it's
gotta
really
sit up straighter. Hold on. Now you got me nervous. I was like bent over. You're like, she's too comfortable in her chair. Now I'm nervous.
What's Monica reading? Does she notice what I'm doing? Yes, but I love teaching body language as well, because in corporate settings, sometimes they're not that open to intuition training. Mm-hmm. But body language really gets you in touch with your intuition, because your body will inform you as to how you're feeling. And it'll also inform you as to how other people are feeling. You can read people's expressions, you can read their body language, and it's the first step to getting in touch with your own intuition. You know, we talk a lot about unconscious bias when it comes to race or gender or sexual orientation, but people don't usually talk about unconscious biases in terms of body language. We make assumptions all the time about other people based on their body language that are not necessarily true. If I'm sitting around with my arms crossed in front of me, I mean, that's called closed body language, right? And my unconscious mind assumes if I see someone sitting with their arms crossed in front of them, my unconscious mind will assume, well, that person is closed off. They're judgmental. They're not confident. They feel vulnerable. But is that true? Maybe I'm just cold. I mean, here I'm sitting with this scarf on because I'm cold. And I try and dress myself with scarves so that I don't feel so cold that I have to close my body off. If I have open body language, the unconscious mind of the viewer assumes that I am confident, because the unconscious mind is like a primitive brain. I'm back in a cave and I'm worried that you're going to come in and steal my fire and my food. But if I have no fear, I keep my body open, because if I'm fearful, I try and protect my vulnerable organs with my arms, right? Because what if you have a weapon and you go to stab me, right? So if I'm in a meeting, for example, and we've all experienced this, you're kind of on, right? You're not paying attention to your body, you're on, you're trying to function, you're putting on a good face, right? And then I notice that my arms cross in front of me. I say to myself, I must be feeling vulnerable in some way. And I investigate it later when I have time to think about it, right? I'm in a meeting, someone says something, I cross my arms in front of me. I say, oh my goodness, why am I crossing my arms? So then I have to consciously say, Monica, open your arms. You're safe. No thing can harm you.
True.
You are loved. Nothing can harm you. You're safe. I have to do the self-talk so that I can keep my body language open so that other people feel more comfortable in my presence.
Wow. Monica Levin teaching me stuff today too, let alone our listeners. This is awesome. So, so you work for corporations and businesses as well to help like CEOs, and because that they do a
Yes,
lot of speaking, public speaking, and the people, a lot of people, all eyes are on them, right? And how important is that when you're running a company to give across the right message, right?
absolutely, absolutely. And also to be able to read the expressions of the people attending,
Yeah.
right? And if I'm doing a presentation for my team, for example, I want to prepare the room if we're in person, for example. I want to prepare the room so that everybody's on an equal footing, that when people walk in, I'm the first one that they see. I want to make
Mhm.
sure my body language is open. I'm not going to have my head bent down
Oh, good.
and my body in front of me checking my phone. We never do
Mhm.
that. Keep your
Yeah.
head
The
up so
dinner,
that when people walk in,
they're like,
that yes. And it's interesting. Often a CEO will say to me, Monica, it's really strange. I feel like I'm an open and accepting and warm person, but I hear rumors that I'm not. I hear people saying, that the CEO is unapproachable, and I say, well, it's common for people in leadership positions to nod less and smile less.
really?
Yeah. So research has shown that happens. And
So
so
you
if you're in a
just
position of authority, if you nod a little bit more and even
smile.
just tilt your head to the side, which is a I'm listening gesture, and smile once in a while, you become warmer. Your body language is warmer. And then people will
Wow.
perceive you as being more approachable.
Interesting. Wow. All
Mhm.
right. So now the other, what else? There's a lot still that you do and can help people with. But I know like on your website, it's amazing because like anything in life that you want, you desire, you can manifest, you can make it happen. Let me ask you this about the pandemic and COVID, right? The anxiety, the stress level of so many people, so many lives, people lost life are in upheaval, losing jobs, children being homeschooled. I mean, it's changed us in so many different ways and also made us a little more resilient. How has that affected your clients? Because, helping people get new jobs and learning they had different talents, is that stuff that you've been helping people with to guide them through in a sense?
Yes, I help people connect to their inner guidance so that they can manifest anything they desire. And if you're feeling anxious or depressed, it's often we don't feel connected. But number one connection is with our own divine minds, our own inner guidance to whatever word has meaning to you.
Mm-hmm.
God, angels,
Yep.
Jesus, doesn't matter what religion you are. I help you connect more fully to that. And in these new times, people are trying to navigate. We have to find new ways to interact. We have to find new ways to do business. We have to
Yep.
find new ways to take care of ourselves. And the old formulas no longer work. We're at a time of spiritual evolution, the raising of spiritual consciousness. The whole planet is going through it. And the things that appear in the physical world are reflections of what's going on inside. Inside, we're all trying to decide, who am I? Who am I? Is this me or is this someone else? Is this me? Is it societal or
Yeah.
is it societal conditioning? Is this me or is it family beliefs? Is this me or something
Or
else? So as we're feeling conflicted on the inside, it's
it's
reflected on the outside in the world. There's this polarity. We're on a planet of duality. And so the polarity has become more and more. We have more warring, we have more division, we have more conflict on the outside because our insides are always reflected on the outside. And as we become more in tune with ourselves,
mm-hmm.
then
Then
the world gets more in tune with us. So
beautifully
then
said.
our lives individually go
Wow.
easier, and we're all connected through the collective consciousness. So you and I are connected,
I love it.
and whether we know each other or not. So if you're very upset and anxious and depressed, I can feel it. I mean, we often feel things. Have you ever woken up and say, I feel so anxious and there's no logical reason?
Yeah.
It's because we're feeling the world. And
So
part of the process that I teach is how to
I was going to
connect
say,
your own
so
energy
how can
and
you help someone
protect.
with that stress and anxiety
Yes,
overcome
there's a
that?
way to protect your energy. And then you
Okay.
can ask, is this me or is this someone else? So that you
Hmm.
don't take ownership of feelings that are not yours. And then turn off the news. How much do we need to know?
True. You're
But
right.
keep podcasts on like this.
Good. Yes. And for someone maybe looking, to start their own business, you could help them, guide them with that as well, right?
Absolutely. Yes. Even when you're at work, for example, let's say you have 3 piles of things to do or 3 different ideas of what business to start. As you're connected to your guidance, you put your hand over each pile of things to do, and your guidance will give you a yes or no, which one to do. If you have a list of things that you have written down that you need to do for your business, how do you know which one to do first? You have a list of 20 things, you ask your guidance, which one do you tell me to do first? And you put your finger down and you'll get a yes answer for the task you are supposed to do now.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. It's such a positive way of thinking, and the mindset is so important. And if someone does want to work with you, can you explain, the capacity, how it works, how long are your sessions, and, how do you have any packages available? How many times do you need to speak? Just curious.
Thank you.
You're
Well,
welcome.
people can get the book from Amazon, The Body Soul Bridge by Monica Levin.
And the
You can
journal.
go to my website, monicalevin.com, where I have online courses. You can also book appointments with me through my website. I have 1-hour appointments for $120 or an hour and a half for $160. I don't usually do packages because every session is led by your divine mind. At the end of the session, we ask, is it appropriate to schedule another appointment at this time? And if your guidance says yes, we ask in how many weeks? 1, 2, 3, 4. Your guidance will tell us. Sometimes it'll be 1 week. Sometimes it'll be in 5 weeks. Your guidance knows. Even when I was scheduling this podcast, there were available slots for me to be interviewed by you before now. But my guidance was very clear. Don't book it until April 21st. And I thought, why is that? I didn't even know. I'm telling you, Jill, the last 3 weeks, I had so many internet problems until finally they came out and had to replace my cable because it had been chewed through by an animal.
Wow, that's the divine right there.
Yeah. So I thought, okay, now I know why I had to wait until today to talk to you.
Wow. Wow.
We don't always see the reasons that we're
Yeah.
guided to do things. Maybe you're driving along and you hear, get off the road.
Yeah.
And so you do it. And then you find out later that there was an accident up ahead. Maybe you never know.
True.
But
Very
it's about
true.
trust. It's like when we see pictures, we see a tiny little piece of the puzzle, but God, infinite becoming the divine, sees the whole puzzle. So we can get guidance from a source that sees the full picture when we only see a tiny piece.
Wow, beautifully said. All right. And so if we want to reach out to you again, monicalevin.com, monicalevin.com. Are you also on social media? And do you want to share a phone number or anything else?
Yeah, this phone number 248-656-2505. People can text or call to schedule appointments. Social media, I am on LinkedIn. Just look up Monica Levin,
Yay.
as well as Facebook. Those are the 2 that my guidance told me to focus on.
Great. Well, thank you for being here, for enlightening us and joining us today. Pleasure to get to know you. And thank you for doing what you do. Glad we met.
You.
April 21st was your day.
Yay.
Internet's back up and running. Don't forget, check her out, get her books on Amazon, and looking forward to the next time we get to speak. Monica, thank you for everything.
Thank you. Have
Thank
a great
you.
day.
And thank you to all of our listeners. Stay tuned, where the show is on the way.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you can now listen live on the MyTuner Radio and online Radio Box apps for iOS, Android, and the Amazon App Store. Or check us out online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com or search Podcast Business News Network on onlineradiobox.com/US so you don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.